All right. So, first off, I want to introduce myself a little bit. I am Teddy Marquee. I've been doing music for over a decade. Started at Paramount Recording Studio as a assistant engineer, and then moved up to full vocal engineer. Then I went off to work with Dark Child for a while, doing songwriting and production. I've been super blessed to live in California and have an absolutely amazing catalog at this point. I'm really interested in teaching right now. There's so many tools out there to make music, and I am just overwhelmed, to be honest. And I don't know if I were to start right now where I would start. So I don't know. I kind of want to kind of dive into some really cool stuff. And yeah, I mean, not to like toot my horn necessarily, but I've been in the industry. I've worked with some of the greatest Grammy winning, blah, 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 all the way down to people that nobody even knows about who are insane. And I do know what I'm talking about to an extent. I think that nobody can say they know absolutely everything about music and music production, but some of us do know a lot. And I want to share insight that's kind of between advanced and super, super beginner. This stuff, some of it might be more advanced, but I'm going to kind of dumb it down where I can. So that said, I want to just mention too that I made a video recently about a plugin by Cymatics called Quake. And it's right down here, the video. Here, let me see if I can put it down here. And these are the comments I got so far, which make me extremely happy to see that somebody said, I like what you're doing. I like that you're going through each sound and messing with parameters, helping me understand the range of ways it affects the sound in each bass. Amazing. That's great that you got that. I'm like glad it helped. Somebody else said, nice video. Looking for something like this. Just grabbing the plugin now. Hoping you can switch presets via MIDI. Okay, well, dude, you just bought a plugin because of my video? Amazing. Like, I just helped out Cymatics. Cool. What was the instrument used in the melody at 18.1? Cool. It's the same plugin, just so you know. And I just told him. Some other person said, what are you doing, bro? This is annoying. And, like, I'm trying not to engage in anything too aggressive, but, like, I don't know. I just replied back. Too bad this is the only video on YouTube. Sarcastically. I don't know why people even say something mean. It's just pointless. But regardless, I'm noticing that like going through some of these new instruments on here is actually getting a little bit more views than not. So I want to keep that up because I do want to connect with people, right? So at the end of the day, I just want to help people make really cool music. I'm still doing some stuff. There's festival season right now. I'm working on a lot of songs for like major festivals. I was lucky enough to have some songs played at like EDC and Lost Lands in the past couple of years. Some stuff signed to some cool labels. And I really just, without further ado, want to go through whatever it is I'm working on at the moment. And what I'm working on at the moment is, a ton of songs, but I just saw this new plugin came out called Bismuth by Virtual Riot. So I want to check it out, and here's what it looks like. I just found out about it today. And I think it's some sort of like almost when I buy a plugin, I don't read the manual just yet. I don't watch a ton of YouTube videos on it just yet. I just want to play with it as like I'm a kid and see what happens. From what I think I understand is it's kind of like almost like this vocoder that like takes your sound and morphs it with these harmonics and turns it into almost a chord of some sort. So just to like kind of play with it really quickly, let's load up like a loop. And since it's from Virtual Riot, like the dubstep god, let's go ahead and maybe grab something that Virtual Riot has provided as far as like basses and stuff. So let's see what his survival pack. There's bass hit. There. Perfect. Let's just see what's up with like a little bit of a dubstep kind of thing. Now let's run it through Bismuth and see what happens. So I'm gonna put Bismuth on here. I know that this is an F, so maybe I have to change the root to F. There we go. And let's just hear what happens. I mean, honestly, that's pretty cool. I like that. What can I do with it though? I mean, there's an ARP. That's fire. Okay. Looks like I can mess. I like how I could double click the values and it sets back to 0. That's really nice. There's some motion. That's pretty cool. Oh, full wet. Dry. That's pretty nice. This is actually going to be super helpful for obviously color base. Insane. But I'm going to start trying to just build something quickly just to play with it a little bit more. So I'm also interested in the next video to go into Unison has like this like AI synth. And I've liked Unison stuff like Drum Monkey. So just to like kind of get going on a track, because I'm at a point too where if I'm really producing something, I need to know that I can sit down for like days on end consecutively and work on it. And if not, I'm just messing around. Today I'm just messing around. But messing around sometimes leads to saving something that you want to go work on later. That said, Drum Monkey, let's just see what it produced for me for this little like drum beat. And then I want to put this beam, or not beam, what is it? It says beam, or no, Bismuth. I think it's under Lunacy Audio, which is like, they have this thing called beam, and then the Bismuth is actually that, inside beam. I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but anyways. That's really cool, man. Like, already, let's see, I want to go to a minor triad. I want to do like C. That's absolutely nuts. Can I honestly, let me try this. This is getting a little funky, but let's do it anyways. So we're just going to pedal between a couple chords here. Again, this is me using it just with like my creative brain. I don't want to necessarily learn how other people are using it just yet. And for all of you guys, like, I don't know if you want to watch this, great, but also just like, I encourage you to do the same. Hopefully, if anything, you just learned that this is a new plugin from this video. But anyways, so we're going to go from C to, let's just go to maybe a major A flat. Let's go to E flat. There we go. So the chord should change halfway through from C minor to E flat major. I mean, that's really funky. Just like getting some melodics going automatically through a drum loop. Let's just see what else can I do to this though. So there's the minor. Let's do a sus. The difference between that isn't massive. Virtual Riot. Am I on the right one? Hold on. Oh yeah. Wait, hold on. Not hearing. There we go. There's the difference. Okay. So yeah, there is a huge difference. Thank God. I was like, what the fuck? Like that's nothing then. All right. So minor triad. There's your major, and then sus2. Your dominant. All right, so that's pretty cool. I mean, honestly, I can just write a whole chord progression off of this and probably be pretty happy. I'm trying to think of like, it might be easier to get out of Drum Monkey for this and maybe just like make my own drum loop. Let's see, does he have any drum loops in here? Let's just type in drum loop. Let's see what we got going on here. Rob Late. Why would there be free gifts? Ooh. Well, I don't see. Whatever. I don't need that. Let's go to Sounds of Kashmir or something and just grab a normal drum loop. Let's do pop. All right. There we go. So this should be a little bit easier to chop up into 4 sections, right? That's going to be the goal here. So we're going to go here, we're going to go there, and then we're going to go up here. Get rid of this one. Jesus. Remember my first beer. Okay. So, and then, yeah, like I said, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this. I'm just going to lose one of the drum monkeys for right now. We don't need that. We're going to put the other beam up here, but then I'm going to continue my chord progression, right? So the first one was C minor, but we turned it to a sus2. The next one was E flat major. Now let's just kind of go to another major triad, but this time let's do B flat. There we go. And then for up here, we could either go to, let's see, I want to say like a G minor, F minor. Let's try something like that. There's the minor triad. Maybe I want to go to a minor. Does that have just a simple minor 7? I guess. Let's see. Minor triad. And then I want to go to, let's do G. Oops. Jeez. There we go. And then let's see. So we have our G. And then I might go ahead and throw in the F. So let's see what this sounds like. I wonder why that one is so low compared to the rest. Don't love that that's maybe it's the sus2 that's like kind of messing. Try the octave. Yeah, I don't really understand why it's not being the most. Something wrong here, but let's see what's up. Yeah, so all of these should populate. Might just be because it's C, and that's just like doesn't have much good resonance. Let's see. So this is octave 3, spread 3 octaves. Let's see what this one is. This is octave 2, spread 3 octaves. I mean, really, there shouldn't be a reason why it's so... All right, let's just try this, though. Let's go to the major triad, and let's play with A flat. Maybe it's because of some weird ass, like, the fact that I duplicated it. I don't know, I've seen that happen with plugins. Let me see. So we're going to go to a minor, and we're going to go to the, back to the C. And let's go back down to root. On this little guy. Root C. Minor triad. Okay, what is going on? Oh, because this is major. Okay. All right, so this is... Oh, that's why, because the... Oh my god. Got to get rid of the thing here, the drum monkey that was doing a double of it. Okay. Very interesting. Like, I'm thinking, what if I anticipated the second and third chord, fourth chord? Cool. And then I'm going to show another kind of cool little thing. So if I'm going to make a kind of little lead sound with minimal effort, maybe I'll throw on like a delay, I'll throw on a reverb. The delay will move up to eighth, maybe some offset right here, kind of like chill on that. And then maybe we open it up with an LFO a little bit here and a little bit there at the end of everything. Maybe we make it mono and kind of... And then what we'll do also is put a little filter on there. And then, I don't know, there's something else I want to do. I totally forgot. Anyways. So I can kind of just build. Let's see. Let's turn it up the BPM. And then let's do like a hip hop beat instead. And remember, I'm just playing around here. I'm just having some fun. Like, this is not all that serious. When I do decide to like full on implement this thing, I'm thinking what I'll end up wanting to do is use it for like a color bass drop. That's wild, bro. Like, let's do the root C minor on the melody and just see what happens. That's crazy. I have the drum loop dry just running in parallel. Let's listen to melody. Let's just put a growl in for fun, because like, again, that's what this is like made for. In my opinion, what I'm thinking. Probably not meant to be that, but cool. So it's like, I don't even know the key of this. Let's just use it as like a turnaround for, it's kind of not really helpful to do a turnaround because I made the turnaround with the melodics. That said, let's just throw the little C minor on the opening of this and then here too. So and then there I know that we used the B flat. So where did we grab that from? If anybody needs help understanding all of this, just reach out to me, because I am just using weird brain stuff at this point. This is very not typical. I think I might grab these two and duplicate them right here. And then we will go ahead and assign a new growl to these sections. There we go. So now the chord progression is happening. I don't know what to say, man. Like, this dude just made color bass so easy at this point. I love it. Wow, interesting. Let's do like a bass sound that's more, let's see. Do they have any like one shots in here? Oh, that's fine. We'll just do that then. Okay, just use kind of like an 808, see how that feels. Maybe I'll move all of this over just in case I want to use it again. But for right now, we're just gonna kind of make some sort of rhythm that's like, let's see. Dome, dome. Probably just Jersey. Let's try that for a second. Right? And then get rid of the drum loop. Then we're just going to do this instead. And sure, why not? We'll anticipate the things again. Trying to do this all in a tiny ass window so you guys could see it, and I could just go to the correct place that it needs to go. Damn, I'm a little confused right now. Hold on. Oh, that's why, because all of this stays down. Duh. Then we'll do this one. We'll move all of this up to here. And then I think we'll take this one. Yep. All right, we're back. Oh my God. Never mind. We're not back. There we go. All right. Okay, let's see. I'm going to turn off the growls at this point. Try to get a vocal chop. I gotta be honest, I'm not like seeing much. Let me see, hold on. Let's just use that one for a second. C sharp, now we want it to be C minor. I mean, it's nice to enhance some sounds, honestly. But I wish there was like another characteristic. It seems like it's kind of stuck on one kind of character mode in my, that's what I'm going to call it. See, there's the sound. Now let's turn it on. And then let's dive in and see if there's like another kind of character. There we go. Now we're talking. We got just a little bit more of a simpler. Now, obviously, I want this to turn into the right root note that we had. So C, and it was not really minor pent. I just wanted the minor. So now let's listen to. Yeah, okay. So now we're talking. Now, if I wanted to go back to that default, let's see. What is that? It's on. Well, let's look up here, actually. It's on default, so I guess. I wonder how I could make my own. It's probably very simple, but let me see. Where's default? That part's kind of interesting. Yeah, like what's happening under the hood here with these presets? What is that? I'm gonna want to read the manual about some of this. I like waterfall, that's nice. I'd like to get back to the original sound, reset audio. How about just... I like that I could just watch tutorials off of here. That's kind of cool. Because because I can already tell what's gonna happen. Maybe I just need to make the hold on. I'll just do it myself. I'll just be like, save, preset name default Sam, save that, and then where would it come up? Let's see. Go to here and then maybe see default Sam. Oh, well, that just changed the key. All right. We're getting there. That's tight. Okay, interesting. So, like, yeah, I can see I'm gonna want to like know my song and or just stick with whatever I'm doing because it's gonna be kind of taxing to go back. Like if I wanted to change the preset of all four of these, I have to go back and assign the major minors and like what root notes and stuff again. And God forbid I messed around with a little bit of motion or stuff like that. Nonetheless, insane tool for color base. So yeah, I don't know what to say. Like this is really, really tight actually. That's crazy. Let's maybe just follow the... I'm gonna take off the... Maybe we'll make a little Reese out of this one. And then, oh yeah, let's go through this really quick, because this also reminds me about things that I need to do. But like, you could change the characteristics of a sob. So, right, like you could do different partials and different emphasis of which, not harmonic, I guess harmonic, but I was just reading about this, so I want to call it a bin because that's what the Serum uses to put these in there. Let's actually check it out real quick. Why not? I took some notes when I was going through this stuff. There we go. Guess I'm just gonna call them harmonics right now, but no, because I don't want to do that. I'm gonna do, just tell me which one. There we go. So the harmonic balance for unison, over the wavetable editor, FOT additive, whatever. That's what we're doing. Bin 1, root power. Okay, so bin, whatever, but like bin 1 right here is the root power. Then you have the strong octave right here is bin 2. Oops. Right? So let's turn that bin 2 up. And all of a sudden you're kind of hearing that higher octave. So you could really, okay, get the root of your sound a little bit more. Let's see. So then we have the strong fifth is the third. So bends. So maybe we'll do a fifth. That's fine. Gives it kind of that more ghostly kind of sound. I don't really want to mess with 4. 5 reduces the third. Don't really want to play around with that. 6 is kind of like the harmonic body. 7 plus harshness. So like, what's the next root? is what I want to know. There are all little notes right here that I took. Whatever, that's probably strong enough at the moment. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's different stuff. All right. That's kind of nice. That's what I wanted. Just to get that fifth kind of in there. All right. Let me turn this up so it's a little bit more audible. And I know it's going to clash with the bass, but here, I'll just turn, I'll just go ahead and grab the bass and put, or the monster growl and EQ on that thing. There we go. Maybe we'll do an octave thing. Maybe I'll like filter this a little bit more to give it some movement. Let's see. There we go. I like how that jumped too. Since there's no bass in here, I think we can get away with like a little bit of reverb maybe on the personally, I think we can start doing some fun stuff with like a synthwave song off of this. Obviously, it would change the drum groove to something a little bit more what I want, which is drum loop collection from here. Oh, cool. They got some different stuff. Let's do pop from. Hey. Oh, that's too fast. Let's slow that down. Ooh, that didn't slow it down. Like I would probably treat this a little bit more. The drum groove isn't perfect yet, but we're gonna work on it. Let's just try to grab like a little bit more ambiance from this little one. Try to find something that's a little bit more at 170. We're in pop right now, so that's interesting. It's kind of fun. I like those sounds. You know, when it comes to drum splitting, fader is the only thing that I've seen do it well, since somebody bought up the plugin version of it. Let me just see what I can build out of maybe this, and seems like that's what I want. Then the rest is just like this stupid repeat that I don't care about. Maybe. That's a little bit more what I want. There, then like the last one, we'll let it do it again. I don't know, I'm just having fun, honestly. This is a cool little thing. So let's see what happens if I put like, I know this is a big like bass that changes chords, but we're gonna parallel this guy and we're gonna use, just keep it kind of simple right now with the C minor since that's like the root that we're playing in, right? So minor third. And yeah, let's go ahead and play with some of these that I liked. Let's go back to my root. That all to me sounds like it could be a nice gateway into a track. This would probably get redistributed and buried under like 100 other tracks. But the core idea might continue. So yeah, cool plugin. Let's see what we could do with this bass thing by, you know what, in fact? I don't know, shit, maybe I do want to keep that. Hold on. I have a theory that like you technically should be able to, in some ways, like make use of anything you're making. How far it goes is totally up to you, but like I don't know. I feel like if you can't make use of what you're doing, then you're just wasting time that could. Here's what I'll say. How do I say it? I'll get to it in a second. Maybe the way to use this is I'm actually glad I just did that, because that kind of like gives me a little bit of perspective on the bass sounds. If I'm going to play around with the bass sounds in this regard, I might want the depth higher. Right? And then I might want to actually more so just pitch up the notes in a layer system. Right? So that you'll see. Hold on. Let's do another 4. And then we'll grab these. And I know my chords at this point, so that's not a big issue. Let me just double check what I chose for this one. It was B flat to F. No, G. Oh, I'm a little clown. That's why over here, this technically should be a G. There we go. If I wanted to follow what I was doing. Then I'm going to take these up 1, 2, 3. And then actually I'm going to take all of these down to the root position, because, or at least octave, because I want these to stay bass. And then this will go down to, and then this will go to the G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Now, knowing, here I'm going to color these just so I know what they're doing. I really should go in and mess with the fades on them so they don't click all the time. But instead of doing that for a moment, I think I'm just going to do a little. And this is where I would like for this bismuth thing to like have almost like an envelope of some sort that I could shape. Maybe it's here. Maybe it's the motion. Hold on. Maybe I'm just like a clown. Hold on. This is why you read the manual first, but whatever. All right. Let me turn it off. Yeah, I don't know what that's doing, to be honest. So that's just like additive motion. That's not what I'm asking for. Let me see. That's actually pretty cool. I think that is a way to kind of get more of these different presets, right? So like at least what I'm looking for is something a little less washy. So like this is pretty washy to me. There, that's pretty washy. But we can kind of... Loving that. What is this spacing about? There we go. Now I'm like kind of like, in my opinion, making my own preset. Now I'm going to save this one, and nice, it's on the C, which is beautiful for me because I like playing in C minor a lot. So I'm going to, let me call it A-list. A-list Teddy by Teddy Marquee. Okay. And I'm just gonna say that right there, right? C minor. Boom. Save. So I kind of remember all the time. Now I can go to here. Like, I don't want that washy sound. I want to go, but I know I gotta remember that it's D sharp major. But let's just really quick go to here. But I want to change this to D sharp, and then major. Perfect. And then we're going to do that with this one, which I believe, see, it's really washy. Cool. Let's go to Teddy thing. And then this was B flat. There we go. And it was a major. And then we got this one, which is G. It's kind of a custom. It's just a little color tone in there. Oh no, it's a seventh. Yeah. Okay. So G, obviously minor. So let's go here. Boom. You gotta know a little bit of music theory to really work it like I'm working it right now. Not much music theory, just a little. G, and then I'm gonna add that seventh right there. And let's listen. Did it? There, now it's tighter. And then those are that's my custom sounds. There, now when I add that to my root notes that I've manually pitched. Hope I did it right, but we'll see. We'll find out. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, working with samples, I feel a little limited with the voicings, you know, and octaves particularly, but like it's doing what I want. Maybe I'll turn down these harmonically, kind of like enhanced. And then maybe this last one, I want it to have like a different characteristic. We'll open it a bit. There we go. And I think we could probably... automate that. Nice. I do like the chord progression here though, going to the F. for so many years. We gotta change this note to the, right now it's the F, but I want it to be the G for this chord, right? Because that's what we got rocking right here. Yeah. It's like G and then like F, just so I remember. Right? And this is the B flat. This is the E flat. This is the C. Right? There's our C, our E flat, B flat, our G. Poppy in the beginning, but that's an interesting kind of way to go about it. Whatever, I don't know how I just did that. That was so interesting. Let's see. There it goes. So it goes a little cooler than giving away the 4 different chords. Then now we can go lift up to the G or the F. Right? maybe I'll get rid of some of this stuff. I don't know, and like change the chords around in a writing session. But it's an interesting like soundscape, and I do like this Bismuth by Virtual Riot and Lunacy Audio. I still want to understand what the deal is with Beam. Beam? Is there like kind of like Portal maybe? I don't know. I do feel like what I'm noticing a lot is plugin companies are like kind of putting everything into this. If you're gonna like, so if I'm a company and I have 7 plugins on my shop, right? A distortion, an EQ, or whatever, and as a consumer, say somebody wants to buy just the distortion. Well, instead of when they buy that, and giving them the distortion, and then they go to Teddy Marquee Audio, and then it's like there's the distortion VST. Why wouldn't I go get the Teddy Marquee portal? And when you download that distortion, you need to download everything, and you get the free versions of my EQ, my reverb, my synth, and everything, but you have the license to activate the distortion part. Well, of course I'm going to do that, because over time the odds are that somebody's going to pull up your EQ or your reverb or something, or my, in this case, reverb and stuff, by Teddy Marquee Audio. But then I'm going to use it and I'm going to be like, oh, that's kind of cool or whatever. And then, realize, oh, I don't have the authorization. I didn't buy that part of the product, but it's there. So it's on top of mine. Maybe I want to go look at their shop again, or maybe I really want to use it because the demo is cool. I don't know what to think about that, because it's kind of a little like annoying. As all right, as a consumer, now I have so many more plugins, and I don't really love that. I like to keep my plugin folder like just what I own and nothing else, because then it gets confusing. But also I get it, like you got to get that money. Anyways, this was fun. Let's call it here. And this might have been a little bit more of a wild, all over the place stream, but whatever.